Hey guys, how's it going? Luke here for Lukewarm Reviews. I'm talking about Hereditary today. I know it's been a little while, and I know that this movie isn't brand new, but I didn't see it when it came out in theaters, but it finally got released on digital, so I watched it. And I loved it so much that I wanted to make a video about it, so let's get into it. Hereditary is fantastic. Point number one, what is the experience like? This film is very scary in one of my favorite ways. There's lots of different ways that films within the horror genre go about trying to scare you. And this one reminds me of some of my favorite horror films, such as Green Room, The Shining, where there's virtually no jump scares. There's a couple and they're great, but most of the horror here comes in the situations. And it changes drastically throughout as well. There's a really nice landscape and really nice pacing in this film. And at the beginning, you're not exactly sure what type of horror it's going to be. If it's going to be a body horror or possession or just kind of crime like murder horror. And I'm glad I didn't know basically anything about it going in, because I didn't know how it was going to turn out. And I was very I was very pleasantly surprised by the third act. The first act is really, really effective, like I was saying, because the way that it makes you feel, the way that it makes your innards churn and it makes you sweat and it makes you so uncomfortable because these scenarios are so horrifying to imagine, and because they're presented so earnestly. And it reminded me a lot of the way that Green Room makes me feel, which is one of my favorite movies ever. Not in subject matter at all. They don't have anything in common, but just in operation, the way that they operate to scare you and make you uncomfortable. But then in the third act, we really get a whole new flavor, a whole new texture to the horror, which makes up for all the ambiguity in the first act. In the third act, there's some really, really horrifying imagery. There's some really, really excellent moments, very scary and very mystical, and just super great. This, I believe, is Ari Aster's first feature as a director, as a writer-director, and I am really excited to see what else we see from this guy in the future. This is an incredibly impressive debut. I loved it. Point number two, is it original? Yeah, in some ways it's not. It draws a lot of influences, particularly subject matter-wise, from classic horror films like Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist, stuff like that. But it's just so earnestly done and so well done. Every film doesn't have to be, treading entirely new ground for it to have merit. And I think this film is just super solid all the way through. So yeah. Point number three, the acting. The acting is so helpful in the success of this film. Toni Collette and Alex Wolff are both remarkable. I hope they get Oscar attention for this movie. I don't think they probably will, but they deserve it. They're unbelievable. The film doesn't work without particularly Toni Collette's performance. There's some really long sequences where she has to be really really high energy throughout, and she does it and she pulls it off, and it's believable, which is crazy because she does some crazy things. Same thing with Alex Wolff. The tenderness and sensitivity with which he approached the role and the circumstances was kind of astounding. I've seen him in a couple of things. My Friend Dahmer, which I wasn't a big fan of, but I thought he was good in it. But he really blew me away here, and I'm looking forward to more from him in the future. And the last thing, the music and cinematography, again, are ridiculous. They're so good. The music is pretty classic. It's not necessarily super new or original, but it's super, what am I trying to say? It's really messy and really, it made me really nervous, and it made me really kind of panicky right when it needed to. It worked exactly how horror soundtracks are supposed to work. And then the cinematography I saw some really dynamite pictures here that I've never seen before. I mentioned earlier there's not really any jump scares. To me, some of the moments that were genuinely the most startling came from just a simple picture. Just a picture, not from a jump or a pop or anything. Just a incredibly, impeccably composed shot. And there are some dope whips and zooms and awesome stuff, awesome camera work. So that's Hereditary. It's phenomenal. It's really, really good. I haven't decided where it's gonna land on my list for the year so far, but it's either number 1 or number 2. It's really, really good. Check it out. If you haven't, obviously, most of you probably have because it's a little old. Like I said, I wanted to get this review out there, even though it's not brand new, just because I loved it so much. Also, just because it's been a little while. I canceled my MoviePass subscription because they shit the bed and it was no good anymore. Let me know what you guys are doing. I'm probably going to try the AMC A-List. Let me know if you have that, if you think it's worth it. It's a little more expensive, but it seems like a good deal overall still if you see as many movies as I do. So I haven't seen a lot recently, but I do want to see BlacKkKlansman. I want to see, what is it, Madeline's Madeline. Let me know what you're seeing. What are you watching? If you like the video, like, subscribe, share with your friends. You're all real cool. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.